Hey folks, JD here, and today on this really horrible, cloudy, muggy day, we're going to be taking up the Bayangtoys X30. This is the updated version of the X28. It has exactly the same body style and shape. It looks quite nice, it's quite large, which I like. It has GPS, it has quite a few good features as well. I'm hoping today for a bit of stable flight, a nice bit of recording from the camera as well, and see exactly how far we can get out of the battery. So I tell you what, with that folks, let's whack it on the mat, let's calibrate it, and let's get it straight up in the air. Okay, let's turn all this on, and then let's turn on the transmitter first, because you want it to automatically bind with the transmitter first before you start looking for Wi-Fi. Right, okay, that's bound. Let's now whack it on the Wi-Fi. It should be broadcasting. It does take up to about a minute to start broadcasting properly until you can actually connect to the broadcasting connection. Come on, there we go, perfect. So now we should be connected any moment in your own time. There we go, perfect. Now let's open up the app, which is FYD drone. Right, we've got something. Perfect, we have got something. GPS is on. We look like we're calibrated. Okay, well, we can give that a shot. Let me see if I can put it into calibration mode again. Perfect. So this time spin this 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then nose down, and then spin it again. And that then should lock us in place. There we go, 3 times as well. So what are we looking at with that? Well, GPS is on. We've got 7 satellites. It says GPS is not ready. I'm guessing because it has to get to 8 satellites first before it actually locks on to something. We've gone from 100% battery to 93 just with calibrating it. I do expect to lose a little bit of battery, but I've got an SD card in there as well, class 10, so we should be able to get some nice raw footage out of this. And it has started to pick terrain. If it just picks like this, I don't mind flying. If it starts to come down, then I'm going to bring this down, and we're going to go from there. Okay, we are up. We are active. GPS is normal. In order to do that, what I have to do, I don't know if I actually said, because I was trying to fiddle with this for a little while in order to get it up and actually get it running. Oh god, this feels weird. It feels like it's floating on, well technically it is, but it feels like I don't have much control. Oh, it's very slow. Okay, I'll come back to that in a minute. Let me tell you exactly how I got it up in the air first. How I got it up in the air was quite simple, but a bit different. Tried to unlock it from here, and I could unlock it, but I couldn't take off, even with really slowly applying the throttle. I had to unlock it from the app and take off from the app, and that way then I could fly it, but it had to be done from the app. So if you are trying via the transmitter, I couldn't get that to work at all. I could get it to unlock, but I couldn't get it to take off. As soon as it then took off, it went from GPS not calibrated to GPS normal. So okay, that's all right. Now let's increase this speed a little bit and let's see exactly how she does. One thing I noticed, she's very loud, like ball bearings banging inside a bag. But, and it's not as if she even has extremely stable flight. I mean, look at when I'm just using a bit of yaw just to get used to her, and it's not the most stable. It seems to wallow forward and back, and it seems to it's not toilet bowling, it's not whirlpooling, it just seems to be a little bit loose in flying. It doesn't seem to be as tight as I thought it would. It feels a lot like the Bayangtoys X32 in all honesty. It feels that it is in the air, but it doesn't really know what it's doing when it's in the air. If that makes any sense to you. It makes sense to me because I've flown the X22 and that thing just wasn't stable. It felt heavy, you know, it wasn't as nice. But in saying that, I mean, this does fly. It does fly quite well. But I'm just a bit concerned because it does feel as if the strings that it's on just aren't as tight as they should be, if you know what I mean. It just doesn't feel as solid as it should. But in saying that, I don't think it's dangerous. See, when I'm turning her around, she's doing this as she turns, you see, which is very strange, but at the same time, she's not making me think that she's going to fall out of the air, not at all. I mean, she is stable when she's flying forward. It's just the turning that leaves a little bit to be desired, you know, which isn't great, but it doesn't make me feel as if she's not stable. I think she is stable. It's just, it's a bit of a shock after flying so many really nailed down GPS quads. We get to this one and it's just not as nailed down as it should be, I don't think, you know. But you know what, back into speed mode 1 now. So we got 2 speed modes, speed mode 1 and speed mode 2. 2 was what I've been flying for most of this in, and then back into speed mode 1, and you do see there's a considerable difference in its flight in speed mode 1. Now, one thing I have noticed, oh, I can bring it down, okay, good. I did try earlier when I was talking just to try and bring her down slightly, and I couldn't do it. Oh, see a little bit there of a little bit of a whirlpool starting, and then she seemed to lock herself and sort that out. And it's that sort of instability that really, you know, does concern me a bit. And oh, see, now that's me trying to use yaw and roll in quite a simple yaw and roll configuration, which is, you know, something that we've done for so many other quads. See, and she's rocking back and forth, do to do, do to do. If I just use yaw, if I stop her flying and just use yaw, see, she's doing that wobble, and then she's back at it, and she's okay. We've got 16 satellites, so we do have a good amount of satellites sat here, you know, and she's getting good FPV range, but it's just that I don't have the confidence to use yaw and roll at the same time in bringing her around, because she is a little bit unstable. And it's that little bit of instability that we had in the X22 as well, and it's something that it does concern me quite a bit. Now, if you keep the throttle on, and then give her yaw without replacing the throttle back down to 0, then, sorry, if you do keep the pitch on, oh god, I didn't that time. If you do keep the pitch on slightly and then give her a little bit of yaw, that wobble isn't as bad. I'll show you now when he comes back around here. So a little bit less pitch, still staying on there a little bit, turn her around, see, and she seems quite stable. Now I'm going to do another lap, and when I come back around I'm going to take my thumb off the pitch and just give her a yaw, and she's going to start rocking backwards and forwards. So if I just move her around, bring her back to me, perfect, and then I'm going to take my thumb off this right analog stick, right, and then turn her. Oh, not too bad that time, but there was still a little bit, if you saw it, a little bit of movement backwards and forwards. Okay, so we've got video recording, we're down to 37% battery. I tell you what, let's bring this down. The camera actually looks pretty good. I have to see what the quality will look like when it's when I'm back home, but at the same time it looks okay. Now let's have a closer look at this. So, oh, it's a very, see the red tinge? I'm looking at this now, the red tinge to the on the FPV screen. It's very loud. LEDs stand out quite well. She's pretty stable. There is a bit of movement, and a bit of movement is not bad, I don't think. We've lost 2 satellites, we're down to 14 now from 16, but she is very loud. And even when you turn her there, see, she gets a little bit too okay, I'm going to stop the actual video from recording, and I'm just going to continue with the screen recording, because oh, wow, 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 she has just started to go into, oh my god, that we've gone back up now to 15 satellites. I'm going to put the video back on, Mr. Quadcopter, and with the video on, she stops toilet bowling. Right, okay, so the video stays on. You want to record some video? That's fine with me. I'm going to do this exactly the same here, and I'm going to turn off the video. I didn't think that'd have anything to do with it. Why the hell did she start doing that? Maybe I was too low. Let's give it a bit of height. We're back up to 60 in satellites. Oh, yeah, she's very unstable, and it's that worries me. Oh, return to home by the look of it, I think. She's taken herself way up there. Now I hope the return to home is good, because I tell you what, it does not give me any confidence so far in her flight ability, but still it looks like she's got quite a nice little view from up there. Now what is she doing with it? Can I bring her down? Yes, I can. Can I? Yes, I can. Okay, so she just takes herself up to an altitude, and then I've got to bring her down. Well, I'd much rather have control over her than her bringing herself back, because I'll be honest with you, I do not have a lot of faith in this little fella to do what it says it's going to do. Well, apparently we're at 31% battery and it's raised a power alarm. Maybe I can tweak that setting in the app. I'm not going to worry too much about that, because maybe that's just down to me not tweaking that properly. But you can see the LEDs are flashing really quickly now, and those LEDs flashing quickly. Oh, and she's hardly giving any power out to the transmitter, and it's that flashing quickly that there she goes again. Instability. It's that flashing quickly that lets us know that the battery is low. So let's move her over. Let's move her over the best I can. Come on then. Let's let her get her ground. Oh, she's still... Okay, do you know what? Let's just bring her down, sod it. There we are, you're coming down. And then let's land her, sure. Oh, no. That was return to home. Oh, God. Let's take her out of that. And let's just... Ah, no. I initiated return to home with her. Which, to be fair, is probably right about here is where she's reading, judging on where she is above there. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. It just is a hell of an annoyance, which is vibrating. My phone is vibrating as well, which is good to let me know that she's been returned to home. And now she's starting to toilet bowl really bad. Look at that whirlpool as she comes down. Really nifty thing about this, you've got the yaw, pitch and roll degrees at the top of there as well. Okay, right, thank God the motors have stopped. Right. I'm going to do another test with this in a bigger location, but I don't think there's going to be much of a difference at all, in all honesty. And this rain has started to really pick up as well. So what do I think? Well, as if you couldn't tell, I think that you should leave that alone. I don't think that's good. It's the same as I'm really struggling to sort of stay liking Bayangtoys X30, you know, the Bayangtoys range. It was a bit different when I had the X22. It was the first quadcopter that I had by Bayangtoys, and I thought, well, maybe they just made a bad one, you know, maybe it's not as great as that. And then we get this, and I see a few videos on the X28, and I think to myself, right, okay, that's not looking too good. Then they bring up the X30, and they're like, yeah, don't worry, all that's sorted. And okay, I had some plus points in this. Let's look at the plus points first, right? Plus points were, it flew. That's always good, isn't it? It flew, and it flew quite well. I did have concerns as I was giving her a bit of yaw. I couldn't yaw and roll her because she would start moving side to side, like as if the strings that she was on in the air were too slack, like as if she wasn't on rails, if you know what I mean. Like with a lot of these GPS quads, you give them a little, you give them a yaw and roll command, and then whoom, they're right the way around, and it's really tight. This isn't tight at all. This is very, very slack. Its actual flight in a straight line is good. I had good response from my transmitter at all times, which again is good. 2 speed modes, that's pretty good, because speed mode 1 is slow. Speed mode 2 is a lot faster, a hell of a lot faster. Now, we're going to see what the video is like, but I did notice when I brought her down there was a red hue to it, so it looked like there's going to be a red tinge to all of the video. So we'll have to see about that. What other things were there? They're the main ones that stand out to me, that you've still got that lack of stability, that instability within the quadcopter, which really does not instill any confidence in me at all. But I'm going to try again. And I'm going to keep on trying with this, because at least this thing flew, and at least we can get her up in the air. And I think in a much larger area, maybe we can take her for a bit more of a lengthy fly and see exactly how she does. But in order for me to fly her out again, I'm going to get her out of this rain. So my overall verdict is, you leave this alone. I'm going to do a few more flights. If my opinion changes, then I'll let you know. But honestly, at this stage, I don't think it's going to, and that's based on the 2 Bayangtoys quads that I've had, and we've had that level of instability. But I'm going to keep on trying again. There's going to be a couple more videos of this coming out. We're going to look at a few of the features as well, and we're going to deep dive into the quad a little bit more and see what she is capable of. At least we know one thing: the return to home works. She didn't just shoot off in a direction, which is good. So it means the GPS is actually reading, which is good again. So that is where I took off. And round about here is where she landed. So normally you get maybe a metre, half a metre of distance from where the GPS lands to where you stood off, from where you took off, which I don't think is too bad. In this instance, it was about 2 meters away. I don't like that, but at least it's in the same area. So there's positives and negatives to that, because I have had a few where you hit return to home and it just goes off in a straight line. Fortunately, this did not. So I tell you what, folks, I'm going to call that a day now. We're going to take this back up. We're going to have another look at it, but at this stage, don't buy it. Stay away from this thing. It's far too unstable and not good for a beginner or intermediate flyer. You do have to have your wits about you. Alright then, my friends, well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.